Well, we were pretty direct in those games, and we were fired up. We had just beat Toronto the game prior, but we had come off 6 and 7 losses, like we were in one, and we got back to that intensity level that I think we missed, and we're going to need that here. So this is two teams have almost the exact same mindset defensively, different systems, same mindset. They're going to play as hard a gap game as they possibly can. They're going to pressure every single puck, and the team that accepts that that's the way the other team's going to play probably has the best chance of playing it, because there's just no room out there. If you're bringing pucks back and if you're trying to make inside plays and move potentially slowly, both teams are going to have to release possession of the puck quickly and then hunt it back to have success. I don't think that made any sense. Did that make any sense? It made sense in my head. That's a scary place to be.
What kind of stands out the most about Carolina's game?
It would be back. It would be two things. One, that game that I just talked about, I think they played it more consistently than any other team in the league over the last 2.5 years. It took us about 5 or 6 months to get it in the first year. I think we were pretty consistent with it last year. Slightly less consistent this year, in part, some due to travel, but also new players learning different style of game. But they've been very, very consistent with it. I do think that they've changed their offensive mindset coming off the conference final with us, because they were looking for a goal, right? They were looking for one more. And some of their young players have become older. Neshkash, there's some really good skill there that now it's coming into its prime. So they're more dynamic now in their transition game and what they try to do off the rush in terms of stretching teams out. I didn't see that much in their game 2 years ago, but it's there now. But both teams, I mean, this comes down, they're both really good at playing a hard gap defensive game. It's whoever plays that game better wins tonight.
It's about the halfway point of the season now. A couple of the new players really showed their impacts already. Nate Schmidt's one of those guys, and spoke to him today. He said it took a little bit of time just getting used to a new team, the transitional period. He also said when he had you in Winnipeg, it was kind of the same thing. It took a little bit of adjustment, but you told him exactly what he needs to do. Just how important has he been to the identity of this team?
Well, Nate's an interesting player, because we have asked him to change his style. He came in a very offensive guy, kind of a skater coming out of Washington even in the early years, get up the ice. And we like that. But there are other pieces that he can use that skill set that we almost value more. And you, as a player, you get into a run of years, you develop kind of your own style of game, and then you come to a new place and say, that's great, but we need a completely different style from you. He's capable of it, and he's trending in the right direction. I thought it would take probably till February, because he's an older player, to get him kind of to where we need him to be. And I think he's on that track. That gap idea that we were talking about previous, he would have come kind of his last two teams played the game the opposite way. It can be very effective to play the other way. I mean, we saw it in Las Vegas and how they track up the ice defensively. So there's going to be an adjustment period there. He's been important with that, because we haven't also had a lot of veteran guys to play him with, even to kind of teach him that side. Nico Mikkola, we've kept the other two guys together, Ekblad and Forsling. So Mikkola's the guy that kind of gets the new guy, except we've had Kulikov in that hole quite a bit. We've got three guys on our back end almost learning our game at the same time, and that can be a challenge. So we think they're all trending in a positive direction.
And that shutdown role, that it seems like he's going into that
yeah.
kind of like mold. Without Mikkola that you just mentioned, he's had to step up a little bit more on the defensive side.
Yeah, we expect more of him in those times when a mainstay gets injured. The players that are new have to come in and they have to make up the gap for us. I think we will understand. You take two extremely different kinds of players. So we'll take Sam Bennett maybe in how he forechecks, and you take Carter Verhaeghe and how he forechecks. There's almost two different games, and they look completely different. But we expect the job to get done. I don't expect Carter to hit like Sam, and I don't expect Sam to do some of the things that Carter does, but the job that's got to get done. So that's kind of where Nate and Adam and Uvis are all in the same boat. They may not play the game like Nico or Cooley, but they've got to get the job done. It's just going to look different.
when he was getting in front of the net, getting traffic to the net? Do you feel like that was better the other
Yeah,
night?
I think that was the key to all four. I don't know that we've had a game this year where we had two potential reviews because we're that close to the goaltender. I thought we were much, much better at it. I think that the Lundell line, they scored two, so that makes it obvious, but the style all over the ice was closest to the playoff style. Maybe we've had a line play in quite some time. They were on it, and they were very close together, and they really didn't stop skating. They put an awful lot of pressure on the puck, so I was excited about that line and the way they played. I'd like maybe see them play together for a little while and see where we can get those guys to. But those goals are really fun when you score, but they're not fun for the 30 seconds prior to, right? There's always a feeling you could make more plays, you could hit the seam, you could do a lot of fun stuff, but we don't really score very many fun goals, and we don't really want to. There's not necessarily a great value. Game changes in the playoffs, and a lot of that stuff just disappears.
How's Nicola tracking right now?
Yeah, good on the ice, and he's still day to day. I'm not expecting him to be available tomorrow. He could, just on how he feels today. But then it's not soon after that. He may be on that road trip.
And any lineup changes tonight?
None. Sergei plays, and that's it.
Thank you both.
All right, everybody.
Thanks very much.
Enjoy the chocolate. Thank you, Jessica.